I'm going to remarry this woman. My ex-husband declared just 3 days after our divorce. He brought his new partner to my parents' house, where he ambushed me to make this announcement. It seemed he wanted to see my frustrated reaction. Beaming with pride, he said, "As you can see, she's incredibly beautiful. She's kind, gentle, and comes from a prestigious family. Her father is a CEO. She's the perfect wife." I couldn't care less about my ex-husband's new partner, but I was curious about the woman who would come all the way to my parents' house. When I glanced at her, she slightly lifted her hat, and our eyes met. I recognized her face, and for a moment I was stunned, but then I burst into laughter. I'm Aileen Standish, a 40-year-old working in IT. My husband, Tyler, was also my age. We had known each other since high school. Back then, Tyler was the life of the party, always involved in school or sports events. He was popular with everyone, and even captained the soccer team. I, on the other hand, was introverted, preferring books over social events, the complete opposite of Tyler. Despite our differences, we ended up attending the same university and even in the same faculty. Tyler was full of questions. "You're Aileen, right? Do you live nearby? What's your major? Made any friends?" I'd never had a male friend, so I was overwhelmed and initially kept quiet. Even so, my husband didn't stop talking to me, so gradually I opened up and we became close. Tyler always had a naive side to him. Like the time he thought he was scouted by an entertainment agency, but it turned out to be a suspicious venture asking for a $10,000 membership fee according to my research. Sometimes he almost fell for an easy-to-understand scam. I couldn't leave him alone, and while I was trying to take care of him, he told me, "I can't live without you," who is a reliable person. I started to think that there was no such thing, and we decided to start dating. When we started dating, I knew that he was cute, even though he was more motivated than anyone else, but he was kind of lazy. He had a certain charm, despite his cluelessness. Our relationship flourished, and we eventually married after graduating and finding jobs at different companies. We were happy. My husband also worked diligently and helped with the housework, and we got along well. At the height of such happiness, there was new good news. I became pregnant. I was hoping that my husband would become a little more manly and reliable because of my pregnancy, but he often said, "Dinner? I'm sick today, so maybe get something from the supermarket today." Again? "I'll wait until you feel better, so go ahead and make me some food," he said, giving no indication that he cared about me as a pregnant woman. What's more, when my belly started to grow little by little, he often made comments like, "You've really gained weight. You look like a wrestler." I was often irritated with my husband, but for the sake of my unborn child, I was careful not to accumulate stress by going home to take a breather. After a long pregnancy, I safely gave birth to a baby girl. I named the baby Hannah. There were many things I didn't understand and difficulties raising my child for the first time, but I was very happy spending time with my daughter and husband. A year has passed since my daughter was born, and my maternity leave has ended, so I returned to work. I was originally working full-time, but balancing childcare and work was harder than I expected, both physically and mentally. In the end, I consulted with my husband and coworkers and decided to switch to part-time. When I started working shorter hours, my husband's sloppy personality escalated further. "Hey, have you cleaned the bathroom? Just do the cleaning yourself," he said. "Your working hours are short, so you should have some free time." While I was preparing dinner, my daughter suddenly started crying. "Hey, I can't keep my hands off it, so please take care of Hannah and change her diaper." When I said that, he retorted, "I can't do it. I'll never be able to change a diaper. It'll hurt my nose, too." The days were tough, but to be honest, I had gotten used to the situation, and before I knew it, 8 years had passed. Now that my daughter is 8 years old, I don't have much to do with her anymore, so I was planning to put even more effort into my work from now on, but suddenly my husband said, "I'm quitting my job." "What do you suddenly say when our daughter is finally grown up?" He said things like, "I want to grow more. I don't want to be just a worker." My husband sometimes behaves in strange ways that surprise everyone around him, and I call them seizures. I watched him for a while, thinking that it was just another of his whims, when he suddenly announced that he was quitting his job, but his desire to change jobs never seemed to subside. Finally, without consulting me at all, he simply said, "I found a new job, so I'm quitting my job. I'll start working at the new company in 2 days." I thought I would stop them if they were trying to do something suspicious again, but when I looked into the company, thankfully, it was a reputable company. But at this new job, Tyler's delusions grew. He started talking about becoming the CEO and demanding respect as a future leader. My daughter and I were simply bemused by his antics. Things only got worse with Tyler's behavior and attitude. "You look older now. All the young girls at work are so pretty." "Huh? You're getting older too. It's natural for everyone." "I know, but you could at least try to be more fashionable. Look at this woman, she's got 2 kids and still looks stunning." He was showing me a photo of a popular Instagram influencer. I was annoyed at being compared to her. I mean, I do keep myself pretty well put together, especially considering I'm 40 and have a child. It was frustrating how he pushed all the housework and parenting onto me while drooling over young, pretty girls. Around this time, Tyler started working late more often and coming home less. "You've been coming home late recently." "Really? It's the usual time, isn't it?" he replied, but his return time was definitely later. Especially on Tuesdays and Fridays, when he wouldn't be home before 10 p.m. "Why are you always late on Tuesdays and Fridays?" When I asked, he suddenly spoke quickly and defensively, "It's for a project. We have meetings only on Tuesdays and Fridays. Are you doubting me?" He seemed quite unsettled. "Okay, got it," I said, and he looked visibly relieved. But I was suspicious. Ever since we were dating, he always talked fast and got angry when he was lying or feeling guilty. His behavior was predictable. So, I took action. While Tyler was in the shower, I checked his phone. I remembered the password. He once said, "My car license plate number and the password on my old cell phone are all 4649. It was just like him to be that simple. When I entered 4649, the phone unlocked. And there it was, evidence of his affair all over his phone. Messages on text like, "I'm free this Friday, can't wait to see you, and is your wife okay with this?" "She's clueless, no worries." There were also many photos of him cozy with his coworker. It seemed to be a junior at the company. I transferred all the evidence to my phone, shaking with anger. With all the proof gathered, I finally confronted Tyler about a divorce. Initially, he denied everything, but when faced with the evidence, he turned pale. "I'm sorry. Please don't divorce me." "You wanted a divorce, that's why you cheated and grew cold." "No, it was just a momentary lapse. I don't want to lose you or Hannah. Please." I was filled with hatred for him, but couldn't bring myself to divorce for our daughter's sake, who was 8 at the time. I decided to stay married on the condition that he cease all contact with the woman in the future. It seems that she voluntarily resigned from the company, perhaps because she felt uncomfortable having someone, with whom she had an affair, working at the same company. For 6 months, he seemed genuinely repentant, but a year later, he was back to his old ways, belittling me. I couldn't forgive him for the affair and his continuous disrespect. Our marriage was cold. But we stayed together for our daughter. No matter how many times I broached the subject of divorce, my husband continued to refuse. However, a week ago, Tyler suddenly asked for a divorce. "Let's divorce." "What?" "I've made up my mind. Let's divorce." "Why now?" "You always refused before." "It's not that I didn't want to get divorced," I asked, genuinely curious. I also thought it was best for both of us to divorce. However, he refused to divorce, and he wondered why he had decided to divorce now, even though there had been many times before. "It's your fault. Since my affair, you've changed. You never forgave me, and I'm sick of it." He blamed me. I had indeed never forgiven him. Not just for the affair, but for everything that followed. "It's not just an affair. You've been insulting me all this time. I was doing it for your own good. A woman should take care of the house and maintain her looks. You were slacking, so I had to remind you. It's not my fault we're divorcing." That's when I realized he would never admit his faults. He always blamed me, never listening when I said he shared the blame. Finally, he insisted, "It's not my fault. So no alimony or splitting assets, remember that. That confirmed it. Tyler wanted to come out on top in the divorce, insisting it was all my fault. There's something wrong with my husband saying things like this. I suspected he might be having another affair. He was so predictable. Getting agitated and talking fast just like before. In the past, I would have confronted him. But now, I have no more interest in him. Fine, let's divorce. I don't need your assets, but I won't give up living with my daughter. All right, that's fine. I said, utterly dismayed at how easily Tyler seemed to give up on our daughter despite always claiming she was so important to him. Soon after, we went through the divorce proceedings and finalized it without any trouble. I moved back to my parents' house with my daughter. She wasn't opposed to the divorce and wanted to come with me, saying, "Dad's hardly ever home anyway, and he's so mean to you, Mom. I think it's better if we're apart. I just want you to be happy." I was ready to start a new life with my daughter and my parents, but just 3 days after the divorce, an unexpected event occurred. When I came home from work one day, I saw Tyler and a woman with long black hair in front of the house. She was wearing a hat that obscured her face, giving me a bad feeling. I wanted to ignore them, but since they were in front of my family's house, I couldn't just leave them there. Approaching them, Tyler came towards me with a smug smile. "What do you want?" I asked apprehensively. "I'm going to remarry this woman," he announced triumphantly, his eyes sparkling. Just 3 days after we decided divorce. It was obvious that their relationship overlapped with our marriage. And now he was bragging about it so loudly. What kind of person does that? Has my husband started having strange seizures again? I couldn't help feeling disgusted, thinking this was another one of Tyler's bizarre episodes. I tried to show my disgust openly, but Tyler, absorbed in his story, didn't seem to notice. He went on about his new wife, unasked. "As you can see, she's incredibly beautiful, kind, gentle, and her father is a CEO. She comes from a prestigious family. She's the perfect wife." Though I didn't care about Tyler's new partner, I couldn't help but peek at her face. When she slightly lifted her hat, our eyes met. And I recognized her face instantly, freezing for a moment. Seeing me, her face turned pale. I couldn't help but burst into laughter. "Stop it, this is too funny." "What are you laughing at?" "Because I know this woman very well. The easy target you mentioned, Tyler, was actually you." Tyler naively responded, "A target? You two know each other? What a small world." Meanwhile, the woman, trying to leave, said to Tyler, "I'm feeling sick, can we go home now?" Her name is Natalia, and she's trying to leave right now, as if she can't stay here anymore. But Tyler stopped her. Laughing cluelessly, "What's wrong, Natalia? I didn't know you knew Eileen." Natalia tried to stop him, saying, "Stop it. We should go home," but my ex-husband showed no signs of coming home. "How did you know each other?" he asked us, so I explained. Actually, we had worked together for about 7 years. We had been working together for 7 years. While I was explaining my relationship with Natalia, she seemed quite upset and uncomfortable. However, Tyler doesn't notice her behavior and tells me how perfect she is. She's a 29-year-old beauty, graduated from a prestigious university, kinder and gentler than you, a great cook, and a perfect wife. "I'm glad I divorced you." "I'm sorry that I'm the only one who is happy," he said sarcastically. "Huh? What a lovely woman." I tried to empathize with him, but I couldn't stop grinning. When he saw me grinning without crying or feeling regret, he started to get irritated. "Why aren't you more upset? Crying and screaming? Or are you speechless because my new wife is just too perfect?" I see. Tyler must have come to show off his new partner, hoping to see me upset. But honestly, I felt neither envy nor regret. I had no feelings left for my ex-husband, and it didn't matter to me whom he remarried. However, the fact that his new partner was Natalia was just too amusing. Seeing Natalia's face turn pale, I decided it was time to reveal her true identity to Tyler. "I was just surprised by your new partner, Natalia. I guess Natalia was famous at the office for being a beautiful high achiever. It's no wonder you're shocked that such a perfect woman would marry me." Yes, indeed. Natalia was quite famous. Natalia glared at me fiercely, silently begging me not to say more. Natalia, you said before you quit your job that you were having an affair with a married man, and it turns out that man was Tyler. What a surprise. Hey, you can't do it. Don't go around saying you're cheating. Tyler was momentarily taken aback by this revelation of his pre-divorce affair, but soon shrugged it off. It was about my stupid husband anyway. Seeing Tyler so smitten with Natalia, I decided to share more about her. Natalia was promoted quickly at work, maybe because she had a special relationship with the company president. Hey, wait a minute! When was it? I remember you said loudly during lunch break that all men are just wallets to you. That you could easily hook them by selling your body. What? You were famous for saying that you slept with the bosses for promotions or money. That's a lie! You must be mistaken. Right. But it was a mistake to get involved with the president. His wife found out about the affair, leading to your firing, right? Stop it! Don't make up lies! It's not true! Tyler, she's just jealous because we make such a perfect couple. Natalia desperately tried to convince Tyler. Then how about this? Can you still call it a lie? I said, showing them a photo on my phone. It was a video of a drunken Natalia at a company party. Men are just wallets. Buy some ready-made food, plate it up, and they think you're a great cook with no taste. Just undress a bit, and they'll pay you. Now I can pay off my debts. Natalia ranted in the video. It was hard to see her as the gentle and kind person Tyler believed her to be. So, all the meals you cooked were actually store-bought? And you have debts? Tyler asked, confused. Yes, Natalia had a lot of debt. Tyler, in a panic, asked her to explain, but she fell silent. Oh, and Natalia isn't 29 years old. She's 2 years younger than me, so 38. Natalia had lied about her age. Sure, she looked young thanks to the money she received from men for Botox injections and cosmetic surgeries, but claiming to be 29 was a stretch. Tyler's lack of judgment in women was truly laughable. And she's not a CEO's daughter. Her dad works in a factory. So that's why you were so adamant about not meeting your family. It's all lies, isn't it, Natalia? Was there even one true thing in what you said? Tyler's face turned red with anger as he confronted her. I'm sorry. Natalia stammered, caught in her web of lies. It's astonishing that Tyler didn't notice any of Natalia's lies, but that's just like him. He judged her solely based on being young and beautiful, never really looking beyond her appearance. That's the kind of person he is. Discovering that his seemingly perfect Natalia was a facade of lies, Tyler was in shock. Apparently, they met about 6 months ago, and Natalia had been bragging to everyone, "I've found an easy mark, even though he's married." They met at a social bar. While I also questioned Tyler's integrity for attending such places despite being married, Natalia targeted him because he boasted, "I work at a major company and earn a good salary." Hearing this, Natalia saw Tyler as an easy target. Despite noticing his wedding ring, she thought his money could help pay off her debts. Eventually, Tyler, wanting to divorce me to remarry Natalia, believed that by divorcing me quickly, he could use his income to support both of them. That's probably why she decided to marry Tyler. He probably thought he could start a new family with the younger Natalia. Tyler, looking at the apologizing Natalia with disdain, yelled, "I can't believe this. There's no way I can continue with all these lies." The irony of his own deceit was lost on him. He was just as guilty of lying as Natalia. "Tyler, you don't even work at that company, do you? And you always bragged about your high salary, but you earn less than me." That was... Stuttering, Tyler couldn't hide his disarray. Natalia, realizing Tyler's deceit, exploded in anger. "What? I was going to marry you thinking you were rich. What a letdown." She confronted him angrily and pushed him away. "Huh?" Tyler, stunned by her sudden change, was trembling. He loved Natalia for being young, beautiful, a great cook, and a supposed CEO's daughter, while she loved him for his supposed wealth. All their lies came to light, and their relationship crumbled. Realizing I had once been married to such a despicable man, I felt disgusted with myself but was simultaneously relieved to have divorced him. The two liars were indeed a perfect match. As I told them I'd claimed division of property and tried to enter my house, Tyler naively exclaimed, "We're already divorced, you can't claim my property." Actually, the process is still ongoing. Maybe you should look it up. If you hadn't come to tell me, I might never have known about the affair. Hearing this, both of their faces turned red. I'll discuss further through my lawyer, I said, finally entering my house. They continued arguing loudly outside, causing a nuisance to the neighbors, and were eventually taken away by the police. Later, with my lawyer's help, we finally finalized our division of property. I was delighted to sever ties with such despicable people. Afterwards, I heard from a colleague that Tyler broke up with Natalia. Now, both Tyler and Natalia are without partners and living in a run-down apartment. As for me, I vowed to find happiness for the sake of my lovely daughter.